Hello, everyone. This is a message to everyone who owns APE, AMC, GME, and other stocks that have been shorted or may have been synthetically made by a lot of these hedge funds. This video is about the greatest wealth transfer of all mankind. You're all aware of it. If you're here, you know about the MOASS. You've done your due diligence about what you think the price is going to be for whatever asset that you own. And truth of the matter is that a lot of you may not be mentally prepared for the amount of wealth you're about to be taken back from these thieves. Now, I'm talking about frivolous spending. I'm talking about the Lamborghinis that you all want to get, which is fine. And I'm not going to judge you for that. But there is a greater purpose for us for when we retake this wealth that has been stolen from us for generations. So my goal for this video is to provide some insights, wisdom, and words of encouragement when the MOASS hits. Because there are a lot of people that are not in our position. They have no idea this is going on. And many of them may include your family, your loved ones, your children, your grandchildren, your parents, your grandparents. And my goal is for you to help them get over this financial collapse with the wealth that you have. And not just them, but your local communities too. Because there is a deep, dark conspiracy going on right now. And hopefully you've been informed about what the central bank digital currency is, why it's bad. And if not, I pray for you to go look and research into it, because it's going to affect all of us in the very, very near future, depending on where humanity leads. And we have a huge voice when it comes to it. And that's why I'm making this video. So what I'm going to cover is what the central bank digital currency is, but only very briefly, because the amount of research that you have to do is more than what I can fit into this video. So I encourage you to click off and do your own research about what the central bank digital currency is. I am also going to help tell you how you can protect your wealth and the wealth of your families, and why it's important to come up with a game plan when it comes to all of this. Because this collapse is not going to be pretty for a lot of us. I'm also going to give you some guidance on what you can do to help your friends and family and your local communities to protect you and your loved ones from this central bank digital currency system that these people plan to implement. We have a lot of leverage. We have so much leverage, so much financial power because of this short squeeze that's coming up, because of this financial liquidation of all these institutions. And so we have a huge responsibility, and we are going to have a lot of financial power because of this. So let us begin. So the central bank digital currency is a ploy by wealthy elites as an attempt to take control of all the finances of every individual. This is empowered by the World Economic Forum, which is backing what's called the Great Reset. And if you don't know what the Great Reset is, briefly, it is essentially a reset of our economic financial system. This was actually coined by the now King Charles, which within 2 weeks of him being coronated, the entire bond market of the UK nearly blew up. Kind of gives you an insight as to why this central bank digital currency is a very bad idea if these people like him are going to be in charge. But what does this mean in a practical sense? So let's take this example. What is 2 plus 2? It equals 4, right? Well, some people on Twitter are going to think it's 5. And when you try to correct them, they're going to get offended. And they're going to come together in their 10s, 20s, in their numbers, and they're going to go collectively to the central bank to file a complaint about you. What essentially triggers then is an evaluation of your social credit score. Your social credit score is basically a judgment on who you are as a character. And if you want an example of this, this is what's currently happening in China. Based on your social credit score, the central bank can essentially turn off your purchasing power, which means you won't be able to purchase any goods or services, no matter how essential they may be. Alternatively, what they could do is subtly increase the prices that you pay for your own currency, which is like an individual form of inflation. What this means is until you fall in line and agree with the Twitter mob, you're not going to be able to buy any oil. You're not going to be able to afford any groceries. And you can already say goodbye to the firearms that's protected by your Second Amendment. Do you recall what the Green New Deal was? It is essentially a means to turn everyone carbon neutral, with the quote-unquote goal of saving the world from climate change. And this is going to be calculated inside of your social credit score. So if your social credit score is too low, you won't be able to purchase oil. You won't be able to fuel your car. You won't be able to heat your home. You see where it's going? You know, this was never about climate change. This was never about global warming. This is all about control. You know what a firm is? This is an existing platform where you could pay over time for various goods and services because of the rampant inflation. This is currently a form of conditioning to get us conditioned into this central bank digital currency system that they have planned for us. And so if your social credit score is too high or too low, you won't be able to buy some of the favorite groceries that you need. You'll be forced to eat bugs. You can't even afford a steak. I'll get to this in a minute. So, what are we seeing today? We see banks refusing to give people their cash, otherwise known as bank runs in some instances. A bank run is when a mass of people take money out of their own banks. But you've seen in China and Lebanon instances where citizens try to withdraw their own funds but have not been able to because either the bank needs that collateral for the coming collapse because they are all insolvent, or they just simply do not have the supply of physical cash on hand. 80 to 90% of all cash is digital right now. And so if you have any money in any major bank, you need to consider start withdrawing from it and having it on hand, because sooner or later you're not going to be able to access your funds through those banks. You also have these truckers in Canada who were protesting, and Justin Trudeau thought it was a good idea to shut off their access to their banks because he disagreed with them politically. The truckers also did their own bank runs, and they were actually able to shut off their own bank accounts and take the cash in hand. And because of the backlash, the banks decided to reopen their services for them. But this is just all a preview of what is to come. In the United States, we currently have Visa and MasterCard tracking purchases of guns and ammo, which is a violation of our constitutional rights, but they're doing it, and 90% chance it's under the influence of the government that's instructing them to do this anyway, because that's how fascism works when you have governments and private companies working together to impede the rights of the people. So, now that you know some of the consequences this has with you and with your family and your friends and your loved ones, we are in such a great position to combat this, to protect ourselves and our local communities, and we have such an amazing ability to completely shut this evil scheme down. So you all should be rejoicing. I know there's a lot of people who are not patient and who have a lot of concerns with the financial system right now. But if you hold onto the GameStop, the Ape, and the AMC, rest assured, everything would be great. And just so you're all aware, none of this is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, and I'm just a normal guy like you, just trying to make ends meet, just trying to make a difference in the world with the little bit of money I have. So, here's where we come in. When you receive your tendies, when you receive your tendies and when you see the stocks skyrocket into unbelievable heights, they are going to reward you in US dollars. When they do, my first bit of wisdom is to get out of the cash immediately. Put it in gold, put it in silver, put it in Bitcoin, put it in property, put it in anything that has physical, tangible value. Now, it doesn't matter which ones that you take. I'm not going to persuade you which one is a good investment or which one isn't. You have all the ability to do your due diligence to determine what is right for you and for your goals. But the reason why you want to get out of cash, and the reason why you want to get out of the US dollar, is because it's monopoly money. Fiat means that it is not backed by an asset. And because the United States can just print trillions and trillions of dollars a day, it means it's going to continue to inflate prices all abroad. And the other thing I mentioned was the bail-ins. I kind of touched upon this back in the previous slide here. When you have money inside of your own bank accounts and the banks become insolvent, they can just take that money. So, this is why I think you should get out of gold. You should get out of the US dollar and get into gold, silver, Bitcoin, or something more tangible and more stable. Something that they cannot easily control. Now, what to do with the rest of your US dollars that you decide to hold on to? Use it to start a business. It could be something as silly and simple as a lemonade stand. You could set up a family restaurant. You could set up a bar. But whatever it is, make a business, right? If you're going to get millions of dollars, have a means to continually receive a form of passive income. But more importantly, have your business set up to accept payment for these different types of assets. The less that we rely on the US dollar, the more capable of dismantling the central bank digital currency we have. And so by being able to get people and your customers accustomed to accepting payment in these forms of currency. And that's actually another point. You could actually offer discounts for these types of currencies too, if you wish. But it will help condition customers to get used to this idea, which is huge. But if you don't feel like you're business oriented, you're still going to be able to first find a business manager of sorts. There's going to be a lot of jobs available, and with the amount of wealth that you have, you can give jobs to people. Keep that in mind. But if you don't feel like it's up your alley, then invest locally. Invest locally and help other local businesses set up payments to accept gold, silver, Bitcoin, property, or whatever you find to be valuable. Because this is another way to condition people, especially in your local community, to get off the US dollar and to condition them to stay away from the central bank digital currency. And also, don't forget to teach your friends, your family, and just bring awareness to the people that you care about. Because a lot of people don't understand what's happening. A lot of people don't understand the value of gold or silver or Bitcoin. And they don't even understand the own value of their own worthless US dollars. So it's important to help condition people to accept payment outside of the US dollar. Well, last but not least, try to donate to causes and charities using these forms of currencies. And if you do your research online and you can't find a way to donate to them, then reach out to someone. Reach out to someone who is involved in these charities and ask them if there are alternative forms of payment that you could reward them with. As I wish to reiterate, we are going to have so much power when it comes to deciding the financial future of humanity. All these banks, hedge funds, family offices, market makers, they are completely insolvent. And we are slowly but steadily seeing the results of that. And it's going to go fast. We're going to see it get faster and faster as time goes by. And so this is why it's important to help prepare yourself and then prepare your loved ones for what's about to come. And this is why I'm making this video, because I know that together, us apes can do a lot of great things. I don't know what the deal is with the GameStop versus AMC versus the BBBY. I don't understand the whole DRS versus not DRS, and I really don't understand this form of division that's been going on. But we're all in this together. We've all have done our own due diligence. We all have invested with our own goals in mind and with our own perspectives. And instead of trying to bash down each other for choosing one investment over another, because a lot of us are in a lot of the same place too, So let this be a rally to encourage us and encourage each other to protect our loved ones from these people who seek to control us. Because this is what it's about. This is about the greatest fight for humanity right now. And a lot of you don't see it. And I hope that I have opened your eyes to this in this short video. If you found this insightful, feel free to like and comment below. I don't know if I'll make another video, because I only made this channel to make this specific video because I found this to be too important to not share. God bless you all, and best of luck. the last point I want to make real quick. Hedge funds are going to request for bailouts from the government. Personally, I wouldn't worry about this because, for one, US dollars are essentially more or less monopoly money. They could just print how many dollars that they want, and it's really not going to matter because we're going to hold all the attendees. We're going to hold all the power. Because we decide to go into gold, silver, Bitcoin, and other forms of assets, it doesn't matter how many dollars that they try to money launder. Especially if we get our local communities to accept these types of payments, we just completely destroy their entire US financial system, and we destroy the central bank digital currency system because no one's going to want a central bank digital currency when we're all doing fine and well with these other assets.